All right, here we are. So, this map is called, I believe it's pronounced Curacao. And this is the first 1v1 of a best of 3 to determine the first game in this group stage series between WeSports and Friend, who is Leary, Hart, and MBL. And then the Taiwanese something, it's Tag? It's Taiwanese team, but I think it's Taiwan something gamers. I actually forget what the A stands for. Maybe someone could tell me. Sorakuma, amazing talent for Taiwan. He's playing as the Armenians here, and then Leary probably needs less of an introduction. Leary, one of the best 1v1 players in the world, playing as the Malay. I think it really favors the WeSports and Friend team that there's a 1v1 segment to decide the first game. But I did also say that in the previous series, and then LYB won both 1v1s and pulled off an amazing upset. So map, you've got, looks like turtles around the outside and one deep fish. So there's not a ton of deep fish there. It's like the deep fish is more to the north and the south, which is definitely worth fighting over. You don't have to walk that far to dock. So I think this will definitely see some water engagements here and then potentially some land. So more of a hybrid map here. Is Margugu still here? Probably not, right? He's probably going to stop back in. So Margugu asked the USA team's chances to qualify for the Nations event that's coming up. It's going to be tough. So we're up against Taiwan. I think the toughest task is going to be scheduling at a proper time with Taiwan from my conversations already. So that's going to be tough to even get our whole team there. But, you know, we're the underdogs against Taiwan. If we beat Taiwan, we would then be up against either Russia or Austria. I'm guessing it's going to be Russia because Leary's not playing for Austria. Chances are pretty low, honestly. Like Taiwan, these guys play together all the time. Whether it's a Nations tournament, 1v1 training, they're really well coordinated. And they probably have the better overall players too. But I'm also really pumped to just give it a shot, you know? I debated not playing, not like signing up at all. Because quite honestly, there's too many things going on. But I think it's worst case scenario, we gave it a shot. A little pressure off our backs if we're the underdogs. So percentage-wise, though, I'd give us maybe like a 20% chance to qualify. We got some good teams to go through. So I think Armenians are maybe better at engaging in straight water here. What they're not going to be as good at is those transitions towards land. Malay have a slightly better tech tree in that regard. But, you know, if I'm Taiwan, I wouldn't even draft my civs heavily based around winning the 1v1s. You don't want to use your best civilizations in the 1v1s if you feel like the other team is simply just the better chances there skill-wise. So, Armenians are solid enough to compete in a map with a lot of water, but I wouldn't say as strong as many other civs could be in a 1v1. You're not, like, completely wasting a game. You're giving yourself realistic chances with a civ you probably wouldn't use otherwise. So, that's the way I see this here. Is Yo team captain or have some ownership also in their team? You mean in LY? Well, I mean, I would say he's captain, yeah. That's certain. I don't know how established that is, though. You know, like, I don't think there was necessarily like a voting committee to decide the captain or anything. It's just Yo has just kind of always been the guy for the Chinese players. Yo even does like scheduling and drafting for other people. Like what Yo does for other Chinese players is crazy. Like for like Vivi or like Jibitong, you don't reach out to Vivi and Jibitong to schedule. You reach out to Yo. Yo is the mediator there. So he lives and breathes the game. And part of why he's so good. So, no barracks yet for either player. We got Leary on the way up. And so he's docked in the north. He just found the dock from Sorakuma. So it's going to be rather tough for him to actually go down there and kill the fish. And Sorakuma doesn't know where Leary's docked. But based on Leary's uptime, he's probably going to be hoping that Leary is not dock down here towards the south. Because then Leary would instantly get a nice little head start to kill the fish. Leary actually scouting with this fishing ship pretty far away. I think he might go for a second dock. And didn't actually go out to gold just yet. So he didn't go out to gold. He's going to see the barracks now from Sorokuma. Sorokuma, by the way, is actually quite young. I think he's like 21 now. I remember in 2020, I think he had a standout performance, and I thought he was like the next big thing, and I think life got busy. He wasn't as active in the game. But we've got range opening here from him. And Leary sees it the whole way through, and now Leary's gonna... He's basically being a bit greedy with fish, and then adapting to what his opponent is doing, and he's gonna go for most likely skirmishers to counter any archers. Sorokuma does not see the any of the docks or anything really from Leary right now. So he's playing a bit in the dark, and I really like how Leary's been able to play with his scout. He's made so many informed decisions here, and you could just feel the confidence as he's even going to kill that. Oh, what? Wow, that's interesting. So he had 3 more HP, but scouts do 5 damage. So Leary probably just looked at the HP bars and thought that he'd be in the better spot. But Sorokuma gets the kill. What's going on with these Komodos? Do they not actually attack you? They run away from you? Wow, for once we have realistic animals in this game. Now, maybe Komodo dragons would actually attack you. I've heard they're pretty ferocious, but like... You know, I feel like some animals in this game, they're not going to immediately try and go after, like, an army of knights. You know, they might run away. Arranged here for Leary, and now he's just kind of waiting. He's walled here. He knows he's probably exposed here, if anything. He should be fine. I don't think this should be too bad for him. Where it gets interesting, though, is that he can't see the second dock, and even the third dock for Sorokuma, as Sorokuma is going to start to make a lot on water now. T90, I asked you a few streams ago if it's possible to meet you on Friday before the Wololo. In the meantime, I got lucky and bought tickets for general admission on the weekend on the castle. Oh, shoot. That's awesome. Well, hopefully see you there. I still don't know how many people are going to be at the live viewing for that. Last time it was like 200. I've heard it's going to potentially be more this time. Anyone in chat going to be at Red Bull? Besides Captain Catnip? So heavy fishing in the north here for Leary as he adds some fires. You could tell he's definitely just waiting right now for an army to arrive from Sorokuma. And Sorokuma has not moved out at all. But Sorokuma hasn't moved out because Sorokuma saw the range and knows that Leary will be prepared. The dragons are supposed to represent iguanas because Komodo dragons don't live in Curacao. Oh, interesting. Okay. Also, mods, could I have someone update the title if it's not already updated? I just had someone say title and now I'm paranoid, so. Yeah, I don't know what the situation is as far as meeting viewers goes at Red Bull. I'm sure I'll find out when I'm there. But it's always great to be able to meet fans and take some photos and, you know, get to see you guys. Just don't do what someone said on Friday, said, hey, can we mob you? Don't surround me or be weird. Please. Well, weird is acceptable because I'm weird, you know, but no mobbing, please. The galleys did not do what Sorokuma wanted there. And Leary is going to be in Castle Age so fast here. I mean, he was faster to Feudal. And now he's faster to Castle. And this is what makes the Malay so dangerous. I think if Leary gets the War Galley upgrade first thing, instead of even any Archer upgrades, this could be devastating for Sorokuma. Because Sorokuma doesn't have the Galley Mass ready. War Galley upgrade would probably mean that Sorokuma loses everything on water. And then Leary should be fine to push land as well with his archers if he wants to. And there he is right now. Lift T90 up and make him nerd surf. You think I should try and crowd surf? Is that what crowd surfing at a gaming convention's called? A nerd surf? Never heard that one before. I don't know if I trust you guys. I don't know. We'll have to assess. We'll see what the crowd looks like. I don't know if Red Bull would allow me. Ranged army is here. And this is going to force Sorakuma into a tower. I mean, Leary's just so far ahead here. He's just played this... Like, the game has essentially been... There's been minimal action, minimal fights in the early stages, and that's exactly what the Malay want. And now the tower does keep Sorakuma protected, but I think where Sorakuma will have problems is now his fish if Leary converges in with all the fires here. Keep in mind, his fish are completely fine this whole time. And now the galleys could start to get picked off, and then the fishing ships could start to get picked off as well. All the while, Leary kind of working his way around here. A lot of pressure on Sorakuma, who's a great 1v1 player, but Leary is one of the best. I think one of the best with this superior civilization for this type of game. And Leary certainly warmed up here. Fishing ship still alive for Sorakuma. Should mention that. And the army count for Sorakuma is looking decent enough here as well. It's going to get Bodkin Arrow. Didn't click the crossbow upgrade. Or probably clicked it and thinks it's on the way right now when it's not. But nice micro. Leary's got the next step, though. Leary's going to have some siege as well. Nice job from Sorakuma to holds. Only lost one economic unit in this game. 13 to 12 KD. Res collected is similar. What I was expecting was for Leary to gather up all his fires together and kill these galleys, but the Armenian galleys have held on pretty nicely here. Not sure what happened there for Leary. I think it's just, it takes such a long journey for those fires to get over there, and then you have to focus on the micro, and yeah, it's just a little too much work even for Leary to get the timing right. Feels like just a matter of time with all the fires on the map, though. And here comes Leary. Does patrol into the dock. But now Sorakuma is going to have his work cut out for him to defend from this. Now, what Leary is going to have an awfully difficult time doing is microing siege up this hill. Like, yeah, you could stand at the top of the hill in theory. But then that's pretty close to the church, which does fire an arrow with the relic in it. But what Leary's been looking for is a surround of some kind. And finally, he's going to come in. I got to say, Sorakuma's micro has been really good. I would have lost water so long ago if I were in this position. And he's still holding on to his advantages here. I like the decision from Leary. There's just too much resistance on this hill. There's too many reasons why this would be a bad position to push. And so he's just going to take this hill instead. Break through these houses and push this area, and he could just push the TC instead. Now, hold on. Crossbows hop out from Sorakuma, and he actually kills the Mangonel. That's crazy confidence to do that. But now he needs to defend from this, and he's still keeping his fishing ships alive, barely. And we'll go out to counterattack Leary. Leary doesn't actually have a big crossbow mass, but he's through. And he's going to find damage. He's going to find Vil kills, and you could just feel the talent from Leary, dude. Leary is so fast. I think, like, if you were to look at noob games, I don't think, or even mid-ranks, I don't think Malay are necessarily seen as OP. There's a reason in pro games that people think that Malay are OP, just because of what you can do with the timings. Oh! Hole here. Leary is to be careful. But, like, Leary's probably the perfect player to play with this Civ. Because of what he's able to do with beating you to whatever the military option is in early Castle Age. With him, it's normally crossbows, but... Getting ballistics now. Probably still distracted, looking for these crossbows. Mangonel for Leary. All three players actually missed their volleys. But... unfortunately, Sorakuma misses again, and Leary doesn't. Now more pressure on Sorakuma. He is on 3 TCs, but he barely has the food eco to produce from that, and the efficiency for his eco is so poor compared to Leary's. Crossbow's going to head back to the front again. Leary sending in more ships to pressure the galleys and kill the fish. And Leary's collected 3,000 more resources. I apparently misspoke, but I was just making sure my chat didn't fall asleep. I think I said 3 players instead of 3 TCs. I don't know. It's a 3v3 tournament, technically. Well, maybe a team game tournament, technically. So lots of threes on the mind. Oh my god, dude. Leary walked in with 2 mangonels and 6 crossbows, and is still here with 1 mangonel and 3 crossbows. Crazy value. I think the efficiency is the big one. Worker efficiency overall, 5% greater for Leary. And then he also has more workers right now. Still 1 TC, and with him, you're not surprised. He probably wants to do some type of a fast imp here. He's just missing the gold. I think we might see him sell off his stone if he's really certain that that's the right play. Going imp, that is. And then, yeah, I think could always send villagers back to stone later on if you need be. Or you could just pull these villagers, go to the gold. I mean, he's going to get the resources quickly here. Knowing Leary, he might even be imp before 30 minutes at this point, because he's just like a little bit of market shenanigans away from clicking up, and he's melee. These Komodo dragons really kind of freak me out, because they don't act like normal Komodo dragons in a game. So I guess as a player, you have to just learn to ignore them. But it still feels very unnatural. I think Sorakuma has tried his best here. But again, probably was never going to have much of a chance against Leary in top shape to win the 1v1. I think they picked Armenians as a civ for this reason. Made it even more difficult playing with the Armenians against a civ like Malay. And we'll see, you know, next up, it doesn't get much easier. You have Heart or you have MBL. So WeSports and Friend have, well, they have the other WeSport player or they have the Friend. And either one really strong. How was that second shot not a kill? Really unfortunate for Sorakuma. It looked like that one shot was a direct hit. But Leary 20 seconds away from imp. And I think we're about 20 seconds away from the GG as well. Once imp comes in, Sorakuma's already probably felt like he's been completely destroyed. And then he's probably going to have no choice but to just tap out here. Leary played this very well. Couple things. I think, again, I do genuinely think in a game that is that relaxed in the early stages, I think Malay are really strong, right? Their ability to just fish boom and chill, that's exactly what they want to do. But something that I think back to is actually the Navy type. Like, Sorakuma made so many galleys and was never able to advance out. He did advance forward at one point with 2 galleys, and then it was just like so much easier for Leary to use the choke point with the fire ship. So maybe the whole game could play out similarly, and then Sorakuma could have gone for fires. And then, you know, he drops down to 3 TCs. Maybe he plays Archer Mangonel. But at least he could compete to maybe disrupt some of the fish. The fact that, like, he always was defending his fish and was ultimately going to lose them was a big difference maker. On top of how the early game played out. But again, I think the expectation here is that Sorakuma or anyone on tag probably going to lose to Leary. And they probably base their whole plans around that. So this one's going to be a lot crazier here. So first 1v1 went to WeSports and Friend. Leary got the job done. And then they're going to rely on Heart here for 1v1 number 2. If Heart wins this, then it's 1 point on the board and we move on to the 3v3s. We got Z40 for Taiwan. Z40 playing as the Italians. And then we have the Burmese for Heart. This map is called Limpopo. And having only seen one game on this before, this could produce some pretty chaotic games. Now, initially you're looking at this and you think it's arena, and so we might see castle drops. And yes, that's true. But the wood is pretty far away. You can't take any wood inside of your base. So you have to go like wood out here or wood out here. And then there's also fish. And there's enough where I think adding a dock and having even like 4 or 5 villas out here on that dock for food could be really good. So my expectation is we are going to see Z40 try and utilize the fish in some way. And then maybe Heart skips it. I mean, both these civilizations could maybe go for unique units here. But I think Arambai probably make the most sense in the early stages. Margugu says, this map is pure toxicity. Yeah, Margugu? Can a map be toxic? I guess it could be. If it's a wasteland of sorts. Not fun to play. Dude, I thought the game between Dark and Ozone 2 weeks ago was so good on this map. It was clear that both teams prepared so nicely for this. But yeah, having to walk this far for wood probably doesn't feel good. And there's also... How much gold is on the map? There's only 20k gold. So this map... I think a lot of these maps are based on like real places in the world. Wherever this is, I'll let you guys guess. There's not a lot to work with. Yeah, I didn't see My Insanity and Suomi play on this map. I saw the results though, so. Was it a 1v1 or was it a team game? You think this map is North Korea? I don't think this is North Korea. I don't know. I was told... I guess I might be thinking of the Fortress event. There's like another event that's happening with fortresses. And it's based on fortresses around the world. Yeah, I think that's the tournament that actually... every map is based on a real-life fortress. But maybe this is, maybe this isn't. I don't know. I would have guessed Africa. People are saying South Africa near Botswana. Okay. So you're not going to get very rich there, apparently, because there's not much gold. Good to know. So Heart wandered out to the bigger trees. So it's 200 wood a tree. And then Z40 has come here, where some of the trees are 100 and some of the trees are 150. As a result, he got to the wood a little bit faster. But honestly, it's not significant. Like... I think it's probably better to come out here, but maybe it's not that big a deal. Fishing ships are cheaper, so that's nice for the Italian player. All right, we have Limpopo is a South African province bordering Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. It is known for bushveld and wildlife reserves, including part of Kruger National Park. That's apparently on Wikipedia. Okay, so the next line on Wikipedia, very interesting. Pro player in Age of Empires 2, Margugu, once said this area is toxic, and he was then banned by local authorities from entering the area. Okay, so Margugu, I don't know if you got that update, but after your comments, you're not allowed to go there. Okay, so take it off your list of vacation destinations. I would not suggest showing up. It would be very awkward. Africanus, thank you for the 19 months. Imagine having someone named Africanus subscribing right when we have a map from South Africa. You can't make it up. Lord Dragon. We had Komodo dragons in the previous game. What is happening? Thank you for the 21 months. Do we have anyone named after sand or lions or trees or bushes or perch or zebra or shipwrecks or relics or ibex, or leaves, or rocks? Anyone? Anyone? I tried. Not the best way to get subs. Oh, wow. Does Heart see this? Dude. So Heart is bringing a villager. I assume for a forward dock, and then maybe to try and kill fish. It actually might be a forward archery range from him. He's actually attacking fish with his scout right now. Heart does not see that there is an archer range from Z40 right next to the wood line. And maybe this is why Z40 didn't want to take wood on the side, because it's expected. Hartsville, certainly going to dock here. I'd be surprised if it's anything else. And there's the dock. Hart hasn't taken gold yet, but that could change. And Hart's villager is actually going to go down. Ooh, nice quick wall. And ooh, the scout had the path that way too. That's kind of crazy. But, like, Hart's going to try and go scouts. He does not know there's buildings right next to his base right now. Doesn't have the slightest clue. He also doesn't have the slightest clue on where Z40 is taking wood. You might find that in a moment. One puddle under. Thank you for the sub. Ooh, there are puddles. I like that. Also, someone gifted a sub to Ibex, who I don't even think is a viewer here, but they have a sub now because they named themselves after something on the map. Nice. Thank you. Tower from Hart. I think he must know something's up now because he saw the archer here. And Hart adds the fire galley to defend. Could still lose the fishing ship. Does still lose the fishing ship. So that's a nice start there for Z40. But, I mean, Z40 is losing all of his fish. Hart added a fire to defend his own fish, though. I guess he doesn't really need it. I could see why this map isn't loved for 1v1s. It feels like there's just not a lot to work with, and if that's the case, every archer is going to be so valuable. Love the tower idea. Hear from Hart. Okay, we had Lido subscribe for 3 months. I don't know if there's any Lidos on the map, but thank you anyways. And then we have Blackout. Okay, thank you. We also had a gifted sub to Deborah Zebra. Someone named after a zebra. Okay. Well, thank you. Z40 doesn't really know where to go now. It feels like this tower goes up. This is the only thing exposed. And now he doesn't know where to go with his army. He's going to be sending most of it home. I like the position for Hart right now. Because he has towered an area where he can stay for a lot longer. Because of the area of wood he's chosen. And now the forward buildings feel very out of place. All because of one tower. Hart also has a dock over here, which, you know, he has killed fishing ships with mainly his scout, but still, he can take out that dock. Hart's fishing ships are still working. He's actually added one more, I believe. And not to mention, you know, Burmese free wood upgrade. Probably felt very smooth. Always does with Burmese. I think they have a very underrated economy. Feels like Hart will be very happy to know things are smooth for him and he'll be farming away at home on top of everything else. So, kind of tricky for Z40 right now. Again, probably somewhat expected. I'm not saying they necessarily go into this saying, yep, we're 100% going to lose, but their chances here will be in the team games, which is games 2 through 5. And I think maybe right now you think about early Castle Age. And early Castle Age, where it is cheaper to get there with the Italians, that's where you'd pressure Hart next. Wow, lots of subs coming in. Thank you. Lestalia, thank you for the new Prime. Razman. Avery, hello. How you doing, Mon? Welcome. Thanks for the 2 months. A couple angry Jeffs in chat, please. For all the primes today. I'm seeing people I didn't see on community games yesterday, so nice to see you guys for the first time in a bit. Demo? Hart, what are you doing? Hart! What'd you think was gonna happen? Well, Hart loses his scouts there. I mean, those scouts would have been really valuable. 4 scouts down, and well played to Z40. That was sick. And now, there's some more positive thoughts creeping into my mind for Z40. Look at what he's done. I actually love this. He had, like, his whole economy on the berries with 0 farms, and he's just going to try and get Castle Age fast. What I thought it was going to be was a castle drop. I thought he would get enough food for castle and then drop a mining camp to go for a YOLO castle. So I like it a little less if it's not the case. But still a nice uptime from him. Hart's going to click up as well, though. And just more balance for Hart, right? Fishing ships, farms, wood, gold, stone. There's not as many workers to work with right now for Z40. T90, are you sure this map is not South Texas? I'm pretty certain. Unless there is a Texan Limpopo somewhere. But I haven't been to South Texas, so I'm no expert on the area. Thank you, Avery. Thanks again. Yeah, Hart is really taking advantage of the fishing now. And I don't think you have to get too crazy with it. If your opponent has 0 fishing ships and you have 9, that's fine. I think the risk of adding too many fish would be you don't have wood for what you need next. It's already such an advantage, especially with the redock here where there's some deep fish too. Really smooth. Yeah, I haven't seen any zebras in Florida. I don't think this is Florida. This could be Florida. The relic is something some old man found with his metal detector on the beach. We've got a lot of retired old men walking around the beach with metal detectors, depending on the beach. And Castle Age is Z40. He will drop TC number 2. And he's going to add a couple knights. Makes sense to me. I don't know what that villager's doing there for Hart. I don't know how that villager got there. But yeah, knights make sense when your opponent's got skirms out. But Hart in a good enough spot to drop TC number 2 himself. And also sees all the relics on the map with Burmese. There's not actually that many. There's just, I guess, you have to transport to get that. So yeah, Hart will never do that. But it always feels pretty natural to go in the knights and monks here if you're Burmese. T90, the score is 1-0, right? No. The only way this becomes 1-0 is if your team wins 2 separate 1v1s. So it's a best of 3 with 1v1s to get the first point and then 3v3s. I can understand your confusion. Yeah, from here it feels like Hart is just going to basically, boom, take map control. This almost becomes arena from here. Drop town centers, get monks on the field, maybe to get relics. And then just expand that eco. And I'm just like waiting for some extreme, right? They're kind of playing the same game, but Hart is further ahead. I'm waiting for something from Z40 to really get an edge. I thought maybe heavy on stone would do it, and he is going with more on stone. He's not really an extreme player, though. It tends to be, you know, he's more of a meta player, and Hart is pretty spot on a meta player as well, but he's one of the best. So it gets tricky here when you're Z40. T90, I'm going to Fort Lauderdale for 2 weeks of surfing in November. Any must-go places to recommend? Well, I don't know anything about surfing, so I don't know what to recommend to you. Oh, shoot. I'm trying to think of the limited times I've gone outside of my house and what I did. I'm kidding. I mean, I've been down there a couple times. Let's see, November. I think if you're in the area in November, you should go. It's a little bit of a hike from Fort Lauderdale, but you should definitely go to a Florida Panthers hockey game. Florida Panthers hockey game would be sick. I don't know if you're into hockey or not, but it would be a great experience. Says I meant for drinks, etc. This is bad, but if I do go downtown there's like a street that I go to. I don't remember the names of any of the places, but I just hop between a couple places I like. I don't even remember the name. I just know what street to go to. Not very helpful, I'm sorry. There is a McDonald's nearby, yes. So, okay, this is pretty good for Z40. Like, he's mixed in Lycav and has sniped off the early monks from Hart. It was a little sloppy from Hart to get near the tower. I don't think Hart was expecting that tower to actually accomplish anything at this point. 3 TCs for both. Very, very clean economic game from both of them. Obviously, Hart's had the fish. But, like, look at the idle TC time. Under 90 seconds here. And we do have another TC here from Z40. He is going to drop a castle soon. Hart could as well. If Hart knew about this TC, I think the right move would be for Hart to drop it here. He shouldn't know about the farms. That's a spectating thing. I think he's going to try and drop a castle with his push in this position. I mean, dude, if you're in Fort Lauderdale, there's a million and one places. There's great restaurants. I would say looking at reviews is probably better than anything I suggest, as boring as that is. But yeah, have a good time. Have a good time. Lycav killing some monks again. Again, not horrible for Z40. He wanted to buy himself a little bit of time to get his castle up. Hart has wandered a long way. And by the time he realizes this castle's up, which he has just now done, he's not really going to be able to drop a forward one. You add the monks, you normally want relics. He hasn't really been able to do that with the monks. But I think Hart is going to plan around a fast imp here to try and win a Trebor, which is really smart. Now, if Z40 knew this, if Z40 saw that castle, he would do everything he could to try and go imp as well. But he does not know it's happening. Hart even idling his TCs, using the market, and he clicks. Just, again, the right decisions with the right amount of control here from Hart. He's done all the right things this game. Both in defense initially against the archer, with the attack on the dock, and then the transition since. Oh, there is a place, if you like grungy music or like punk music, I don't know what the crowd's like most nights. There is a place in Fort Lauderdale called Booze Garden. And the playlists are always great. So if I'm ever downtown drinking there, which is maybe like twice a year, I enjoy Booze Garden. I will say, I've been there 3 times in my life, and I had COVID 2 days later every single time. It's not a big place. I think it's just if I compromise my immune system by going out in a big city, and if I get drunk, which is bad for my health, I think I just get sick. So, you know, great place. There's really not that many people there, but I just happen to get sick every time I go. So, what a ringing endorsement. I mean, yeah. My mom's a nurse, and I'm really nervous because I'm going to Spain here in a bit. And then there's other things happening leading up towards the holidays. And I basically am concerned that I will get sick at, you know, an event. So I was like, Mom, here's my strategy. I'm going to go out. I'm going to, like, I don't know, go to a sports game, do something, get drunk, compromise my immune system, and get sick like 10 days before the event. That way my immune system is recharged before the event happens. She said, that's not how it works. Have I taught you nothing? Don't do that. So I'm not doing that now. But yeah, like when I worked retail, dude, I'd encounter people all the time. Now I don't encounter as many people. So in general, I'm usually pretty healthy and take care of myself, but I still have more of a tendency to get sick, which isn't fun. So Z40 is going to be up, but Z40 is just a step behind here, guys. And look at all the eco here. Ripe for the taking. Hart will have no problem taking out this castle, which means he has no problem making Lycav. He normally wouldn't want to make that against a player who's Italians with castles, but he knows the castles won't be up. Now, he doesn't have an answer for this yet. That would be a concern. But I think even just this alone, taking out this castle and this TC and being able to raid all this could win Hart the game. Crassi says, I work in a school, so my immune system is S tier now. Yeah. Like, I don't miss going to work and having to deal with other humans as much as I did in the past. But I do, like, the side benefit of being active in public was just my immune system was better, so. I don't think there's any getting away from that. I just got to do kind of what I can. I'm not like, I don't like go outside and immediately get sick. I'm painting the wrong picture here, but I definitely just, it's always on my mind, you know? When you were a kid, it was like, oh, yay, I get off school. I get to watch cartoons and play PlayStation all day. Getting sick is awesome. As an adult, it's like, oh no, I can't do the things that I like. I can't enjoy the things that I like. This sucks. So I try and avoid it. Z40's population is high, but I don't know how, guys. Like, he is just being completely overrun here. Hart will take out this castle. And then he should be able to take out the TC. And he's killing countless villagers. Actually has the monks trying to convert the Genoese as well. The positive thing for Z40 is that he does have 16 Genoese. So he does lose his castle, but he did get enough Genoese crossbowmen out that where it should be good against the Lycav. But he's just lost a lot of momentum. He's lost a lot of vills and will only lose more. The only way that he wins this game now would be pushing this side. You know, this could get interesting. Hart's castle, it's not fully denied. I think it's going to complete, but Hart's lost a lot of vills on this castle. There's also a Treb from Z40 already on this castle. And Hart, while he clears up everything over here, he's going to need an immediate answer over here. Z40's got a lot on stone. Z40 could maybe drop more castles. And Hart doesn't have a unit to counter the Genoese right now. T90, just take the bus every now and then for your immune system? No thanks. But what about my social anxiety? Like, you know, it two very different things. I think I'd rather get sick than take the bus just... I guess that would get me sick, so my immune system would be better in the future, right? Yeah, buses aren't as big a thing in the US as other countries. I'm not opposed to it, per se, if I have to get somewhere. Hart, a 30 villager lead. I know that skirms for Burmese aren't great, but I'd still love to see it here. I actually wouldn't hate cav archers, though. I think he might end up regretting spending the gold on that. Hart losing ground, but Hart pushing in with Trebs on this side. And the TCs are going to be down pretty much everywhere you look for Z40. He's only going to have this TC. I've still been really impressed with his consistency. The fact that Hart has had a lead in so many different areas and he's stayed alive in this game has been impressive. And he's giving himself a really solid chance. Like, guys, this is going to get wild here. Hart refuses to switch into something other than light cav. And it's going to be 2 castles for Z40. He has Trebs here, so he can Treb down Hart's castle here. Is Z40 going to win this game? There's no way, right? If Z40 wins this game, MBL would have to play a 1v1 against another Taiwanese player to fight for the first point. I think Hart feels very restricted in terms of options right now. There's the ranges finally. But Hart's castle is going to drop. 2 castles to produce Genoese then for Z40. Z40 has as much on food as Hart somehow. And, you know, the Z40 snags a couple more upgrades for his Lycav too. I think a combination of Lycav and Genoese crossbowmen could be really good here. Down goes Hart's castle. And then Hart's Trebs are going to be pretty exposed as well. This is a big deal. Genoese are coming out. Hart has no answer to that. Hart needs to save those Trebs. Z40 moving forward, sniping the repair vills. Elite Skirm just now on the way for Hart. All the vills are going down. The castle goes down for Z40. TC might go down for Z40, and Hart's going to back away. Yeah, Hart needed the skirms out a little bit faster here. Lost 2 of his Trebs. There's a chance here. This game got really scrappy. Hart's got a lot of eco exposed on the left. Like, if Z40 comes over here, takes out the TC, all of this dies, and that's 22 eco. There's no relic advantage for Hart. I'm actually wondering how much gold is even left on the map. Like, he's going to run out of gold here. There are still other areas of gold around. Z40's farming eco is all kind of in the same... Excuse me, in the same spot. So it should be safe. And Hart still adding monks. Like, there's endless amounts of gold. I don't love monk. Like, players can sometimes be very autopilot-y sometimes in these situations. And I think this is a good example of it. Like, if it was a different map with more golds, I would understand it. But creating monks at this stage, when there's Lycav on the field, looks very, very bad to me. So, guys, we don't need to have... I mean, you can, I guess. We don't need to have, like, in-depth conversation on illness and Americans right now. There's a game at hand. Okay. we could not. The Heart's going to drop a castle. Heart's concerned. Heart is concerned on the left-hand side here. Z40 doesn't see the castle. 60 on food for Z40. What in the world? Look at this farming eco. Where would we be without auto farm? I think Z40 is going to win this game. Well, hold on. We got Lycav raids back here. That's a big find. Heart hasn't had any type of raids in a long time. Z40 needs to react to that. Heart needs to react to this. This castle was a start. The Heart still has Trebs elsewhere on the other side of the map. Like how Z40 lost the TC and just built a mill there. He's like, nope, that's it for me. Heart 40 more vills. Just now getting fletching. Like, he's like 3 or 4 upgrades removed to having good enough skirmishers to take engagements. Has always had really good upgrades for his Lycav, though. And still has lots of Lycav in queue and on the map. This area is so important. This is where most of the monks are. This is where most of the villagers are. This is where the new production buildings are. All for Heart. This is where Z40 has most of his eco crammed in here. Heart's going to win this fight. That's a nifty move. But can he defend his castle? He's out of stone, guys. Heart has made so many monks. Heart's castle's going to go down. The monks are then going to die. The Trev is then going to go down. Heart has more population. A lot of it's on the other side, but he's going to lose so much here. What is happening? Z40 takes the score lead. And Heart calls the GG. What in the world? How? Dude, I mean, Heart's got a 50 villager lead here, right? A lot of that's going to change in a moment. We've got like 20-some villagers around. Maybe that gets up to 30 or 40. So that's a big swing. And Heart will lose all of this. There's no doubt in my mind. Then Z40's got a massive population. I don't think it's actually a premature GG based on the populations because Heart's going to lose 30, 40 pop. But I just really think Heart didn't know what to make this game. 33 monks created when the opponent had Lycav for a long time is not great, in my opinion. And only 14 skirms. I think he thought Burmese have bad skirms compared to maybe other civilizations. But Burmese still have full attack upgrades on skirms. I think he could have gone skirm Lycav, and he could have been okay. The Genoese crossbowmen, again, we're not a unit that really could be created consistently because of the lack of castles. For a while, there weren't upgrades on the Lycav for Z40, but whatever it is, monks wasn't it, and what a great play from Z40 to hold on there. It took really efficient trades, didn't collect as many resources as Heart, but Heart collected 2,000 more gold. That's 20 monks. And he created 33, so he just didn't put his gold into the right things here. Again, I think like maybe a lot of that has to do with lack of experience on the map. Maybe the matchup, but credit to Z40, who somehow got up to 70 farms at one point and got the job done. So this is for the first point. Score is technically 1-1 between the 1v1s. And we've got Cloud, a player who's played this game for so long from Taiwan. I would say he's probably the captain for Taiwan, despite not being maybe the best player anymore. He's playing as the Incas, and then we got MBL playing as the Bengalis on Danakil. This map, you've got the giant wood line in the middle, which is protecting lots of relics. And then you have 2 elephants each, but they're outside of your walls. So sometimes you've seen people lame. I've seen people send vills forward to try and steal those. You can take wood elsewhere, but the best wood line's in the middle. So there should be lots of engagements there. Now, chat, type a 1 if you didn't see the game between Licks and Bad Koala earlier today on this map. Because if you didn't see it, you need to go rewatch it. That's all I'm saying, okay? That's all I'm saying. You need to go rewatch that crap. It was crazy. And the series as well was fantastic, so put that on your list to watch. But the big thing, okay? The big thing is the gold is in the corners. And one player, I won't name names, when the going got rough, didn't know the gold was in the corners. And the other player did. And it kind of changed things. Now, MBL, and I guess more specifically his team, a little bit under fire in the early stages of this tournament for not necessarily knowing certain things around the maps. Keep that in mind as things go on. I would imagine at this point, wow, these fences are very weak. I would imagine, like, at this point, we're, what, 4 weeks into the event? They should know that the gold's in the corners, but definitely something to think about, all right? I mean, you should have the time. Load up the map real quick before you hop in if you've never seen it before. Look at the map, and then be able to play. So, Inca's Bengalis, though. Bengalis I really like because just of how good their eco is. Like, the extra 2 vills you get is so smooth. It's also a walled map, so you can most likely keep your villagers safe. MBL is a huge confidence player. Like, MBL does weird, wacky things that he doesn't need to do when he thinks he's up against a player who's better than him. When he's up against a player he knows he's better than, he makes all the right decisions. But I guess it's kind of like, well, what is the right decision here? And maybe no one really knows. By the way, the monkeys don't attack. They're just there. They're called smoke monkeys. So, yeah. I mean, Cloud's got some interesting builds, man. Like, I've seen him and his team many times come up with some strats. Remember, do or die in this series. The losing team here will be out. There will be no second chances. They will not move on to the playoffs, but I don't know. Maybe we see, like, maybe we could see towers from Cloud. Like, towers, man-at-arms. I think Incas should be pretty good at that. MBL seems like he might be in a position where he attempts a fast castle. You start with the farms. He's got 4 on wood, 5 on wood. Still queuing up vills. Kind of feels like a fast castle from him. T90 says, Unconquered says, T90, MBL's the guy to win against Hera in a castle when he expects to lose. Well, he's also a guy who gets destroyed by Hera because he expects to lose and already booked his train ticket home for the next morning. So it depends which Red Bull event and MBL Hera series we're talking about. The first time they were in that castle, it was one of the craziest sets I've ever seen. That was when MBL reverse swept Hera. And the second time, an hour or two before, MBL was checking in for his flight, having already booked his ticket to go home the following day. He was just so mentally defeated ahead of time. And apparently had work or something, so. It's just, the last 15 seconds, that whole scenario, it can all be described as so MBL. Just MBL things. All right, barracks for Cloud. Now, he went to gold a while ago, so this is expected. I think MBL saw that. Remember, MBL gets an additional boost of vills when he makes it to the next stage. He actually delayed Loom. A little risky. But Loom is going to be in right after he hits Feudal. I like the move. Bit of confidence. Drops a stable. The key here really is the walls. You can't have man-at-arms. Well, it's probably going to be archers, actually, but you can't have any pressure hit you right now. And so MBL will go for scouts. And yeah, now it's like Cloud's kind of boxed off here from being able to get in. And MBL has a pretty safe eco to go scouts. I mean, if MBL doesn't have to immediately worry about this attack, he could just loop around and hit Cloud's woodline. So Cloud has to be careful there. You always have to be thinking, if you can't immediately damage your opponent with something, they're probably going to sneak to your base. Tower from Cloud. I don't like how Cloud has built that up against the enemy wall. MBL is going to show you why in a moment. MBL runs away with the scout. I expect MBL to delete that piece of palisade wall and put 2 vills to attack. He actually deleted kind of the wrong one. But basically, you fill your tower with max vills. Yeah, and it was just a little too close there for Cloud. And MBL was kind of expecting this, I think, because he saw the villagers were forward. And the tower gets deleted. And MBL seems completely fine. MBL being patient with his scouts. Cloud doesn't actually know what MBL's going for right now. He has no clue. He has no vision on that. So nice patience from MBL. And this tower doesn't immediately do too much for Cloud. But he might have just caught a glimpse of those scouts now. And MBL's going to rush this down as well and bring the scouts in all at the same time. This game is for the first point, and then we move to the team games. And here come the scouts, and there's vills, and there's only one player you favor in these scenarios. And that's going to be MBL. What? A messy scenario with forward villagers and towers where the game gets scrappy? MBL, 10 times out of 10. Cloud's tower might not even complete here, and if it does, it'll probably just get battered right down. MBL lurking around with the scouts, waiting. Has killed 2 villagers. Hasn't lost a unit yet. And as he finally loses one, I think Cloud is kind of toast right now, guys. Remember, MBL already had the +2 vills. Bengalis was a really nice choice for that reason. You just play with the greater eco lead, and then you adapt. Anything your opponent sends your way, which they kind of have to do, you adapt to. MBL will lose scouts here, but he kills the spears. He takes out the tower. The vills are exposed. And, hold on. Oh, he chopped the tree, built a palisade over it, and deleted it. So now he can get the villager. That's going to be the 4th villager kill, and now MBL can just chill. 31 vills against the 25 from Cloud. The best thing Cloud can do right now is try and get the Castle Age and go for something crazy there. But how? You only have 26 vills. You're going to need to defend yourself. It's going to be so complicated from here. And I think MBL is going to like just kind of play tower defense if need be. You could maybe see an archer range. You could maybe see skirms. But, yeah, this is just the dream start. I'm sure Hart right now is just like, thank God. Because, like, let's be honest. I get, like, maybe Burmese, Italians, bad matchup, blah, blah, blah. But Hart didn't play his best game in the previous game. And I think it was a winnable game for him, which would look disastrous if MBL would have lost here as well. Might see another tower from Cloud. Because right now, he just has a massive eco deficit. And he can't do anything. So he has to break in. Little does he know that MBL is going to sneak around. Drop a tower on this side. Can he see that? Can't actually see that. And then MBL's already prepped this to build a counter tower here. Victor, thanks for the 38 months. Uncle Jay, I just saw your resub message. I am not one of the old dudes in Florida with a metal detector on the beach, just to be clear. That's not me. But that's definitely like an old dad thing. Or like a grandpa thing. My brother has a metal detector, and we've gone metal detecting in rural Pennsylvania before. And we found a metal... we found like a cap, which was apparently used on glasses of milk back in like the late 1800s. No joke. Because it had like some words on it, and there's sites that have all these details. But that's the only time I've metal detected in the last 12 years. NBL maybe got a little ambitious here with this tower. NBL just shooting back this tower, and I mean, a little risky from NBL. Like, you've worsened your own economy to come forward like this. But I think, like, slowly creeping in with towers in this position makes it so awkward for Cloud to know what to do. Cloud can't push and focus on the front as effectively when all this is happening either. Another tower here from Cloud. Fletching is going to be in for both now. NBL doesn't have archers, obviously. I wonder if NBL senses that there's no archers here and sends villagers to rush this down. There's only one archer inside that tower. He hasn't repaired this. I think his vills will hop out in a second. Over here, he's focused. He killed a villager. He's got 2 towers up now. Cloud is under so much pressure right now. NBL did repair his tower. We just missed it. And Cloud is getting massacred here on the wood line. Oh, so many weak vills. He's trying to pull the weak ones away. But he loses another. A tower will go up. But then this tower is going to go down. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to sit here. Holy stress from Cloud. Cloud has 13 vills in queue. So when you can tell someone's really stressed out and really focused, then when they don't realize they've overqueued vills. Well, I was just going to say, like, I was trying to find the positives here for Cloud. It's actually positive that he has the food to queue up 13 vills. So if he cancels the vills, which he's just now done, he can actually go to Castle Age soon. So that's nice. But I think he's going to go to click Castle Age. And then realize I'm not going to have the resources to make anything on the way. NBL continues to win the tower wars. And we'll batter down this tower. Cloud can't really use his archers too much here. Because if he gets too close to NBL's tower, he'll lose his archers. NBL pulling back the weak vills perfectly. Scouts also got through. There was a hole over here. Cloud's on the way up. And NBL, I think, is just in need of a market, honestly. What happened here? Was this for that one vill? There might have been more vills. Yeah, and there's just... It's kind of like a... It feels inevitable because NBL's NBL. I'd love to see Cloud change my mind. But NBL is playing like a player in full control right now. And Cloud is going to need, I guess, the Eagles to break through. If the Eagles could get through here in early Castle Age, that'd be really strong. They should be pretty good against the archers. Or, sorry, against the Tower Fire. But, I mean, Cloud is going to have, like, 2 Eagles. Maybe 4 when he makes it to Castle Age. Someone says, I think metal detecting is similar to fishing. You don't do it to catch fish / find stuff as the primary goal. You want to be outside and unbothered. The activity is secondary. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I haven't been fishing for a while. I don't do a whole lot of fishing where I live now. But when I grew up, I used to fish all the time. And yeah, just like being outside and just being able to relax a little bit, disconnect from things is definitely part of it. Might depend on the person, though. It's like the people who say the point of playing video games is to have fun. And then there's other people who are like, yeah, but winning is fun. Only the winning part is fun. The losing part is not fun. You know? And then it's like fishermen are like, fishing is fun when you catch fish. Otherwise, it sucks. So... I mean, Bengalis can make knights. So, normally I'd say you go light cav, you mix in a couple knights, and you can deal with the eagles. There's going to be a lot of eagles here. And where will Cloud hit with the eagles? I don't know. He might want to try and run through here. MBL has a bunch of towers to hop into, but still would be awkward for him. And MBL is to be careful. You need to delete your lumber camp, MBL. A little surprised he hasn't. Those vills are going to go down. 3 villagers down for MBL. Wasn't expecting the eagles. Forward monastery for MBL. MBL getting light cav now. And if you could make knights, he could add in some knights here. The Eagles run through. I don't think MBL thought that was open. MBL tries to get house walls down. MBL kind of struggling against the numbers of Eagles here. I think he's surprised by the fact that Cloud is here. Cloud's going to kill the scouts. Cloud is now into MBL's walls. And MBL tries to get a quick wall down. But he's not the Norwegian known for that. And he's going to drop a TC. He's going to drop a TC. But Army controls the concern. He probably feels like he can eventually kill these Eagles. And then just use light cap for the map. But it feels like Cloud's giving himself a real shot here. Like, Cloud is massing a lot of Eagles right now. Eagle is way better than light cap. With full armor, way better than light cap. Obviously, cost is a big deal. You need the gold. Hopefully, Cloud knows about the gold in the corner. See, MBL's got a light cap here. Is that auto scout? Yeah, MBL put that on auto scout. And that's huge. MBL has seen most of the map now. And clears up the Eagles. Most likely going to be fine here. Still has some forward villagers to be careful of. I think MBL wanted a forward castle originally. And eventually bailed on that idea. Breezing on through with the light cav. This is a lot of time for MBL to breathe and boom right now. That's what he wants. You'll see the farms come up around his TCs if he can fit it. Forcing reactions from Cloud. I mean, Cloud's going to be at 20 Eagles before you know it. MBL's only at 8 light cav and isn't really producing more. There's Palisade walls here. Honestly, if Cloud YOLOs through with Arson, you take down the gate, you take out the TC, this is doable. MBL is on stone there. Yeah, like MBL's Vills here could be picked off too. That score is crazy for MBL. And a lot of that's due to the scouting. Cloud has scouted, what percentage of the map at this point? 40% of the map. MBL's scouted 95%. So that's 550 score for MBL just from the scouting. Villager gets picked off there. Nice shot from Cloud. Still could do some damage here. MBL, though, on the villagers here. Now, these are Inca villagers in Castle Age, so they do benefit from the armor upgrades. So that's okay. Does Cloud know about the gold in the corner? MBL quick walls. Well played. And he also quick walled here, too. Wow. Sick. He's also raiding over here now. MBL wants to drop that castle. Let's see it. If he's at all worried, he should drop the defensive castle. And there's a lot of reason to be worried here. And MBL, this gate could go down, dude. Be careful. He needs 2 wall pieces, and I think that's fine. And now this wall, this needs to be protected too. Let me in, says Cloud. He's so close. It could still easily be denied, guys. This could be bad. 68%. Cloud is almost through. Nah, MBL's got it calculated. MBL's fine. Never a doubt. Never a doubt. 74 Vills. Castle will go up. Castle protects the area. MBL's actually trapped the Eagles. The Eagles can't escape. The wall died to the castle now. That's sick. And yeah, they can make Ratha in combination with the light cav. And MBL's just booming like a madman. That's all he's been doing in Castle Age. A little bit of light cav. And then a whole lot of eco. And Cloud is... Cloud knows the map. Cloud definitely knows the map. He knows there should be gold back here. And he's going to find it. So he had completely run out of gold. He needs a new lumber camp somewhere else. Like, the towers have been such a problem for him. Here, actually, Cloud breaks through. But it's the same thing as before. It's like MBL's got just enough. MBL completes another TC. And I think Cloud might tap out here shortly. I mean, 2K score lead behind. Oh, God. He didn't notice the gold? I think he clicked the Vills around and only looked back here now And so when he went back to his screen, he was like here, and he just didn't notice the gold was there. It is kind of hard to see on the minimap, too. He's doing a million other things. But I think MBL now... The main issue is his army comp, but Rathas have the melee mode, and the melee mode should make them pretty solid against Eagles, because they then have the 10 base attack and 125 HP. So, you don't really need the light cav anymore. More quick walling from MBL. Beautiful stuff. Stops Cloud from getting through. Cloud deletes some of his own walls. MBL dropping walls so he can get the monks protected. And, I mean, fancy moves from MBL. In the end, I think the rest of the situation is all that matters. And I think the Ratha is actually going to be key. We've got 5 Eagles, 3 Eagles for Cloud. MBL's going to have 8 Ratha, 6 light cap. And Cloud's going to be forced to tap out with this one. And WeSports and friend, MBL being the friend on the team, gets the job done. Very well played from MBL. I love how MBL played this. Like, it was actually perfect. He basically said, come at me. I know you have to pressure me. It's a wallable map. He walled it up a little bit more. He's Bengalis, gets the nice early villager lead, guaranteed. And baited his opponent, or not baited his opponent, expected his opponent to pressure. And then lurked with the scouts. It was really the initial damage. Killing the 4 villagers with the tower defense scout move was really what started it all. I do think he almost threw a little bit. Like, he had a massive lead in Castle Age, and he maybe shouldn't have gone for 3 TCs right away, but he played like a player with confidence there who didn't feel like he could ever lose that game. And more of almost every single resource collected. And WeSports get their win on the board. This is precisely what I meant. I was just talking about how, the strategy is going to be there for tag. And so they're going for a map that a lot of other teams have not opted for throughout this tournament. In this map, I can't actually see... Okay, this is the first time I'm actually saying this live. Lenquas Marin Henson. Oh, God, that was so bad. Hardy, edit that out, please. We'll just get rid of that one. I don't know how to say it, but I can kind of explain how we play it, okay? So in the even colors, we have WeSports. And you do not start with the TC. So you have some some options on what you do there. MBL's walked all the way over here, for example, to build his TC. He did build a mill with some of his villagers on the berries. And then you also have this thing. So this is actually a town center. Okay? WeSports clearly did their homework. I remember a game in the qualifier where a team didn't know about that, and they just basically lost because they didn't know you could produce vills out of this. So you could produce vills out of your TC and then this thing, which is also a TC. MBL is playing Dravidians. You then have Leary, who's playing as the Hindustanis. And all the way in the north, we have Hart. He has walked here because this is where there's a lot of boars. He's playing Lithuanians. Now, you have a horse to scout, not an actual scout, so you can't attack. Nearby is Cloud, TCing the stone. I'm guessing because he wants camel archers eventually. So Akuma TCing the boars. And then we have Z40 playing as the Portuguese. Now, as if that wasn't enough, you then have this area with water, and you start the game with fishing ships. So, since you start the game with fishing ships, you also will see players walk a villager or 2 down here and build a dock so they can fish. And we actually have a dock down here from Z40, which is pretty far away. There's a lot going on, right? There's a lot going on. And it's important that players are prepared. And you could just tell at this stage of the tournament, players know exactly what's up. And no real big surprises here for any of them. I'm not seeing any mistakes. I'm not even sure if I could accurately point out some of the smaller mistakes anyways. It seems to be pretty clear on how this could play out. So, what's your plan then, right? What's your plan? Well, a lot of times I've seen teams have one player go for water because it's like guaranteed damage. If you get an edge here, you can affect 3 players. I've also seen teams go for 2 players on water. Because you can also send the ships this way, kind of get up in this guy's business too. So water could be a pretty big deal. I would say for Taiwan, it's very clear. I'd be shocked if Cloud doesn't go for Camel Archers. I think this is probably Fast Castle Camel Archer. This area is all protected. It's kind of on the back side with his teammates being in front of him. And then his TC location was on stone. But Cloud has clicked up, so, maybe I'm wrong on that. Leary, he's a player who wants to fight on the land. I think he will be going for scouts here with the Hindustanis. MBL might be the player for his team that opts to go for water. But it could be archers too. Like, you could go scout archer. Villagers on gold, lots on wood. It's either a second dock or it's a barracks and an archery range, and I think this will be a second dock for him. Are these custom maps or RMS scripts, T90? They are RMS scripts. Obviously, they're like custom, though. So it's not a scenario. A scenario generates things the exact same every time. Here, there's still variance in how things generate, which is what a random map script is. So apparently, this area is a beautiful, natural, touristic location in northeastern Brazil. Okay, good to know. Here come the docks from Z40 down towards the south. So Z40 is going to go for galleys for his team. Interesting. And MBL is going to try and drop a dock right next to Z40. If this goes up, this could be really strong for MBL to have the fires directly next to the galley player's production. Stable for Sorakuma. He'll be going scouts. Market for Cloud. This seems like, again, a fast castle strategy. He's been walking over here to snag the boars this entire time. Villager for Sorakuma goes down. Leary, nice job from him. Adding a fire galley on top of the archers, actually. Wow, okay. Leary's down to 23 eco. I think he might have gone up so fast that he wasn't able to really produce that, or maybe he didn't produce it all out of this town center on the way to Feudal Age. It feels like something went wrong for Leary compared to the others. We'll see if like Z40 and others are going to be able to produce out of this little town center thing if archers come in, though. And MBL's fires are right on top of Z40, which is awkward for him. It's blocking him off from getting to the middle. And in the middle, Sorakuma is starting to lose fish to Leary's fire. MBL's going to have fires there, too. This is looking really good on the water, at least in this middle island for WeSports. I like this teamwork here because one tower from Cloud can kind of defend the team. Leary actually sat in a position where the tower doesn't protect everything, though, which is really great from him. And so, just small details, right? Like, that tower could have been in a better position. Guys, Hart has just clicked up to Castle Age. I think Sorakuma is building a house and an outpost here because he wants this hill locked down for Cloud's castle. I think Hart is going to have a really rough time. And I'm excited because, I don't know, I'm a sicko and I like to see players struggle like that, The forward castles on top of a town center could be really strong. Imagine Hart's position. He can't easily send villagers to safety from this thing. And then he's also going to have no TC up here, potentially. Hart, be careful. Hart, be careful. Hart, be careful. Okay, well, Hart's going to hate me for showing that. It's completely understandable, of course. I really think Hart is going to have a rough time. Leary's archers don't really know where to go right now because there was a tower protecting most of the eco. MBL's fires making some nice progress here, but Z40 will still be fine. Cloud is up, and Cloud is going to drop a castle on the hill. And I expected it. I'm not sure Hart expected it. I'm not sure what Hart was supposed to do against it, but it is going to happen, and this is not going to make life very easy for Hart. Now, Cloud's eco is brutal right now, right? He really doesn't have great food eco at all. He's got 0 on food. He lost his fishing ships. This comes at a cost, but he's going to be making camel archers. And Hart needs something here to protect himself from those camel archers. And he's actually buying a little bit of stone. And so while he's guaranteed to lose his TC, he is actually going to drop a castle here too. But he's still losing vills. Hart, you gotta just build this castle. Get away from the TC, my friend. Sorakuma's been around. Hart had to defend from that earlier, which is so tough. Sorakuma now looking for damage on Leary. Leary's archers made it through. Z40 had to drop a tower down. He's still focused primarily on water. MBL is really the one player... Like, MBL and Z40, they've kind of just stuck to their job of fighting on water here. And Z40 has outperformed MBL on water. He really has. Now, MBL killed the fish earlier for Z40's team. I think that's a factor here, but still. Camel Archers will be out now for Cloud. And they're going to work in here with Sorakuma. Might head right towards Hart or maybe right towards Leary. Leary still isn't clicked up to Castle H. Sorakuma nowhere close to Castle Age either, though. He's about to break through this house in no time. So I think what will happen here... That's a really nice demo from MBL, actually. It's MBL we're talking about. He's going to be stubborn. But it feels like MBL will lose water. His team will lose control of this area over time. That's what this feels like. Tower from Hart. He might tell MBL. MBL needs to tower his gold here in a second. If they even go there, if they even know it's there. Oh no, Hart won't be able to get his tower down. The Camel Archers got here right away. Oh man, I mean, I'd hate to be Hart right now. What a tough position to play. I think what Tag has done a really good job of, as we see the archers from Leary get through, that's amazing. They need some damage here. I think they've done a great job of simplifying the roles. It's literally Z40 is able to focus primarily on water. And you can see, he's trying to do that right now, and he doesn't realize what's happening. And then you got Sorakuma, focuses primarily on land. He has now had a bit of a misstep, and now he's losing his scouts. And then Cloud goes fast castle, castle drop. I think for Hart has kind of had a combination. Or maybe he just has the worst. Maybe he's just fallen into the worst position with this whole fast castle situation. I don't know. Because he also, his job was fast castle here. MBL with a waste of a demo. And yeah, they're going to lose water control. Leary's on the way up now. And Cloud will be here with some camel archers. Just thinking about this a little bit more. Like, could it have been better maybe to have Leary go for scouts? Scouts into camels feels a lot more natural for the Hindustanis. But maybe it's not as natural for Leary. Leary likes his archers. Tagger looking really good, guys. Tagger looking really good. There's a lot of army from Clouds. Sorakuma is kind of the weak one for the team right now. But, I mean, MBL is pretty weak for his team. He hasn't clicked up yet. MBL's dropping ranges maybe for skirmishers before he even clicks to Castle Age. Leary wanted ballistics. University has to be deleted and relocated. Hart might not be able to take gold. I don't know if this tower is going to fully protect him. Hart is still here with some eco. But we haven't seen the latest play much of a role yet. Nice engagement from Leary. And then, MBL actually went for some sneak docks over here to stay on water, but they've been found. And it doesn't look like that will be enough. Ooh, latest rates from Hart. Really good find from him. How did he even get through there? I think maybe he killed whatever was building houses here. That's crazy because the eco is not good for Cloud. It's just the Camel Archer numbers. And that could get worse for him. He's just at 2 here. That could get lost pretty quickly. Now Sorakuma's getting hit as well. Nice recovery from Hart. Hart has killed a dozen villagers with these latest over the last few moments. And Leary now on crossbow and breathing a little bit. Dropping the second TC. He could advance forward. There could be some pretty crazy demos in the middle here if players could justify it eventually. As we have We actually have coinage now for Z40. I think Z40 is going to full sling Sorakuma or Cloud. One or the other. He might just do both. He probably feels like his economy is going to be so good, but he doesn't know how to use those resources to help the team. Right? Because he already won water. So I think he's just going to hold on to water, and he's going to send those resources and prop up his teammates. But the game is dead even. Hard has found more good engagements with Latus. Military counts even. And remember, a lot of that military count for tag is all in, it's all in water. Wow, I didn't realize Sorakuma wasn't actually up to Castle Age yet. He actually needed the resources just so he could make it to Castle Age. 3 TCs for Leary. Things are looking pretty stable. Heart's going to be on 3 TCs, looking pretty stable. MBL is going to be up soon. I don't know if things are stable for him, but it will certainly be better than Sorakuma will be, at least without the sling. 19 fishing ships for Z40. Crazy. You think Latus hit Z40's woodline earlier? I think you're right, because I see yellow bodies there. You can actually look and see the eco KD for Heart. I think Heart had a rough start, but has done an amazing job since. Yeah, there's the eco KD. Heart killed 28 vills this game. But, like, he lost most of his villagers before any of these kills came in. Impressive. Without Heart's vill kills, I think things would look very different right now. And Cloud also has to come chase this because his teammate doesn't have the land army, right? So it kind of... It frees up Leary and MBL from those attacks. MBL will have skirms, Leary will have crossbow, and then Heart's going to have Latus. It's a good army. A really nice army to have. The Navy, though, for Z40 will come in to the middle over time. I guess MBL's still not going to give up on this. I see him making demos right now, which is probably... Maybe it's a good move. I'm not sure. You wouldn't be able to cross the middle with crossbows if there's Navy there. So, probably a smart move from MBL. Z40 sent like 1,000 plus resources to Sorakuma. And now Sorakuma makes it. Sorakuma will drop TC2, TC3. And we have upgrades flying in, but big armies about to converge towards the center. MBL's aiming to get the War Galley upgrade to upgrade these demos, but the demos have to hop out beforehand. I like how MBL's still remaining consistent there. I love the play from WeSports and Friend as well. They've done such a good job. Like, this looks so bad for them. Heart's recovery has been amazing. Like, look at the difference between him and Sorakuma, for example. And the skirms from MBL, that's the type of unit you want him on. He's just fully focused there on the camel archers. If the camel archers aren't there, the Latus will own everything. And they're missing a player here, guys. They are missing a player. It's the water player. Z40's got this crazy economy, but he doesn't have units to chip in and help right now. And that's the concern. He's still... Z40's going to send resources to Sorakuma. So Sorakuma can make lots of knights, but Heart has more Latus than his opponent has knights. Latus are superior. And also another castle for Heart, which will help with his production. This is dicey right now for Tag. Kind of falling apart. I think they've got a window here, right? The main like window is before Heart gets the big Latus numbers and upgrades, which Heart has done an okay job with. And then Leary's going to need to switch out of crossbow eventually because his civilization is really bad with well, not really bad, but you know, it's just not an Arbalest civ long term. And look at that clear up. So now what happens is Leary has to switch. Leary's going to like click imp, I think, but he has to switch. His TC is getting attacked from the Navy, which we knew could eventually happen. And there's also some ships patrolling around in the middle. So things got dicey there, but they were able to make it happen. 4 on food for Cloud, by the way. Like, I think it's kind of funny how Green is actually farming around his TC more than he actually is. Cloud is like all in camel archers. does not have a very good eco. I also don't think they're going to expect that Cloud's eco is that weak. Oh, man. Oh, Hart. Hart needs to abandon this hill. He's trying to stack castles in every hill he can. And that's not going to be it. What they don't want to do is they don't want to go too far and then they can't get back. But, like, if they go back here, Hart's eco is destroyed. Hart needs help. And Leary's imping. And Leary's going to be making camels. Leary is imping in a safe town center. But a lot of this economy for Hart is going to be idled. Because of the knights and camel archers around right now. MBL trying to come back on water. I think that's a good move. But Z40 is just going to add more and more navy. And we'll keep an eye on that. We have a castle here from Cloud. Lots of house walling, lots of protection across the middle here for Taiwan. Hart will never go imp at this rate. He's got 9 on food. Some of that is like maybe even still on a random boar. And he has to make Latus, which costs food and costs gold. But he will get this castle up. So they've also got a nice little line here. At this point, it doesn't feel like they need more knights from Sorakuma. He's got 27 of them on the map, which is almost hard to believe, but they're out there. He only has 13 of them here. So what will Sorakuma do? Sorakuma will go up. Boz says, call him Brother Z, please. Z40 sounds so unnatural. I don't think it sounds unnatural. His name is Z40. If his name was Z, I'd call him Z. It's not a lot to say. I think Z40's fine. MBL's going to try. Like, they know that the longer this game goes, the worse it could get if they don't have this river here. In Taiwan, they call them that? Oh, okay. Well, if he changes his name to Z, I'll call him that. I'll leave that up to him. Big fight. Now, we got Hindustani camels. We've got Latus from the Lithuanians. And then we've got Dravidian skirmishers. I mean, they are completely stacked with army here, WeSports. And Cloud does not have the best of economies to get to imp himself. But he receives the sling and does click up to the Imperial Age. That'll pop up either after Wheelbarrow. Yeah, after Wheelbarrow. Running to the back corner with the Camel Archers that are inevitably going to go down. And Sorakuma is going to switch into Camels long term. I think it's a good decision. You don't want to continue with Cavalier if the Hindustani player is in imp on Heavy Camel. If you get Farimba Camel... Farimba Camel is superior to regular Heavy Camel for, Hindustanis. It's because of the extra attack. But look at the hold from WeSports. They've got 3 players. They don't just have 2 fighting for map control. And eventually, maybe Z40 is going to need to do something else other than Navy. I don't know. I still kind of like the Navy, but I think he's going to need imp. He's certainly got the economy for it. Look at the fishing. Look at the farming, taking the gold, taking the stone. I also think that demos should be in queue all the time. From MBL, he is already doing it, but Z40 as well. At this point, you could probably stop slinging Sorakuma. Once Sorakuma gets, like, close to 50 camels. Yeah, but I don't know, like, But if you stop slinging... then maybe he can't keep up with production to make the army to deal with Leary. It's very, very complicated. Leary has Imp Camel on the way, 90 seconds away right now. MBL on the way to the Imperial Age as well. He's done such a good job. I mean, these players are so good. It really felt like inevitable that, like, Hart was going to die, for example. Ooh, that's Hart's Imp TC. Yo, can you imagine? If he loses this TC... this would be brutal. This completely changes the game. He can't lose it. He has to repair with everything he has. Losing Imp here would be devastating. It's going to be super close. 96, 97, 98, 99. Oh, man, he just gets up. And Sorakuma will also lose a lot of his army to try and take out that TC. Meanwhile, though, Imp is in for Sorakuma. He'll get Heavy Camel with Farimba eventually. Cloud is also in Imp. with 20 camel archers, he really is struggling economically, Cloud. Like, I doubt... Well, he has elite camel archer. Never mind. Anytime he needs resources for upgrades, he just asks. Z40 just continually slinging both. Z40 still going to go for ships, I imagine. So we'll probably go for galleon and bracer and what have you. Hart has 19 army. It's really Leary that's got the crazy army right now, and he's got Imp Camel. Remember before I said that Malians could compete with camels? Well, that was if Imp Camel wasn't in. Imp Camel is an issue. At least you have Farimba on your camels with the +7 attack, but Imp Camels have so much more HP. They're just significantly stronger, and they attack faster, too. Trade is already starting, guys. What a game. We're going to see trade from corner to corner. Will Leary make the unique trade building that the Hindustanis get? Yes or no? I'm going to say no. In fact, I would guess that Leary has probably built them less than 5 times in his career. I would love to be proven wrong, though. It does increase the speed of trade. It is a bit costly, though. Oh, man, and so is losing Trebs. Hart runs through, snipes the Trebuchet. Dude, Cloud is not surviving on his own economy as is, and he is going to get raided back here. A lot of this is Sorakuma as well. I think WeSports and Friend, they don't actually need to push too much from this position. They need trade, and they're set. They have 3 players that are fully stabilized versus another team that really only has 2 players acting on their own accord. And trade becomes a really big factor when gold is running dry, and gold is running dry. I think comp-wise, we've got galleons, we've got heavy demos, we've got imperial camels, we've got crazy army and navy for WeSports and Friend, and they are dominating here. Huge explosions through the middle. How MBL has continued to be so consistent and get back on water, I'll never know. A lot of that has really been Leary. Like, Leary's played out of his mind. I think all of them have had to play out of their mind in different ways. MBL had to recover. Hart had to recover with some crazy raids. Leary's camels have kind of protected the middle, protected the front line, and has given them this opportunity. And trade is running behind this for one team and not really the other. It does look like Taiwan's actually adding some guys, but, you know, the ships aren't enough. The Imp Camels are so good. The Imp Camels are good. Over here, though, we have some big demos from MBL killing the camels. Because the camels were killing the latest for Hart. And I think Z40, maybe a bit of an overboom at this point. Has 137 eco. And you will see the trade start. But I'm worried about Cloud. Cloud, 53 vills. He can't replenish camel archers with this economy. He can't get more castles, actually. He does have his castles down here. But if they go down, what is he supposed to do? And the northern area is where you're going to trade. You can't lose this area, and they're starting to. MBL's Navy, to Hart's Trebs. Actually, I think Hart just needs to chill for a moment and make Trebs. Like, obviously, mixing in latest is great, but just make sure your trade is good. If there's heavy camels all the time or camel archers, it's going to be a little awkward for you. His eco is getting sorted. That just has to be the consistent focus. Z40 actually deleted his fishing ships, which I guess, you know, he didn't have the time to add fish traps, which is understandable. And it's a 100 population for WeSports and Friend. They're just, guys, like, the strategy was great from Tag, but WeSports, they're just 3 incredibly talented players. Didn't have poor strategy themselves, by the way. They had to come back in this, though. Remember Hart needing to kill 30 or so villagers to even things out? MBL was losing on water consistently, and then you look back here, and his eco is just flying. I actually think wood becomes a talking point a lot earlier on this map than others, because they kind of trade towards the same area up here, and then Navy controls the wood down here. I guess if you're MBL, you're going to be fine for a while, but MBL's team also has the greater water control. Yeah, it was looking amazing for Tag in the early game. I think they had the right idea. I think they just weren't able to keep up economically. And I don't know if it was the initial strategy for Z40 to sling either. But I think they kind of had to sling Sorakuma to Castle. So things went wrong. And they had to sling Cloud Eco because Cloud has never been above 65 Vils. So I think all those things combined kind of played into the decision. And yeah, now it's just pure army comp problems. I mean, you can't get close with the halves before the demos explode you. And Leary alone could probably handle Camel Archer and Heavy Camel on the other side. Did he make the building? Ah, come on, man. Make one of them. I think they cost a little bit of stone. I actually don't remember the exact cost. I think it's like wood and stone. But GG's called. It's not needed. And what a freaking game, dude. From the favorite WeSports and Friend. That was beautiful. That was really, really good stuff. I mean, I thought they were dead. I really did. I wasn't really saying it per se, but like Hart was losing far too much to the castle drop. Leary's archer play kind of felt weird. It wasn't accomplishing a lot initially. MBL's uptime was so late. He lost dock after dock after dock after dock. I think that Leary actually did a lot of damage with his archers in time. He found opportunities to kill Vils. He hasn't really been in his opponent's eco in a while. Let's see. Okay, he killed 20 Vils. Now, that was probably in like Feudal Age, early Castle Age. So that was nice. And then Hart, I mean, he was bottom score for a lot of this game. But we talked about it back when he did it. He found kills on green, he found kills on teal, and he found kills on blue. And so even though their team was kind of losing water, they weren't really losing many villagers back here with MBL and with Leary. And then also, I felt like Hart did a really good job recovering economically, at least compared to Cloud, who I think struggled in this one. Like, you think about this from Cloud's perspective. What happened to him economically? Well, he lost his couple fishing ships here. Then after his castle was up, like, he was in the driver's seat. And I don't know if, you know, maybe he needed an extra boar or two. Maybe there were some things we missed. I'm sure managing the extra town center was really tough. But they killed the opponent's eco, and then they didn't add their own eco to kind of back it up. So it really was a rough game from Cloud. And remember, Sorakuma needed Sling as well to get proper castle age time. The consistency just wasn't there as a team for Tag. So, you know, not looking good for Tag because they have to win 3 straight now, and WeSports and Friend just played so good. But fun game to watch. I really like that map. This is... I think this is in my top 3 of maps on this tournament. Now, that's actually the first game I've covered on it. This wouldn't be in my top 3 to play. I think it's definitely one of the most difficult ones in the pool. Having to manage all the different aspects, but I don't know. There's just so many different things you can think of and so many different things you can try. And the aspect of variety of options makes it fun for me. Thanks for the support, guys. Thanks for the love. I want to say thanks to individual subs, but we can't because this map's crazy. You start with some extra res to play around with, and you start with 6 vills. You start 3 villagers on the farms here, and then 3 vills on the farms here. And then we're seeing dock, barracks, barracks opening, and then we have dock opening. The last time WeSports played this map, they were up against a lot of the early Dark Age militia shenanigans, and they simply just rushed to Feudal Age. So they're clearly going to opt for the same here. We actually have Leary. Leary's opted for the Cumans, and the player that's over here will usually try and take the elephants here. I just noticed the zebra. Does this always happen on this map with the zebra over top of the lions? Is the zebra being eaten by the lion? Anyways, we'll see. We got militia coming forward. against Leary. And this should be a problem. But Leary is probably just going to try and run away with his vills and flee with the fishing ships. Different class of player, right? In the other game earlier, we just had people run from this immediately. And Leary's just like, I'll fight it off with my vills. I'm not worried about you. And you could tell, like, Sorakuma's not attacking because he doesn't have faith that he can actually kill the vills. It's a mind thing, dude. I think you just need to attack the vills anyways and block with the horse. You can't invest into this and then not harass. You have to try your best. And Leary up for the challenge, supposedly. So T90, the type of caster to listen to Korn on an iPod Nano. I didn't have an iPod. I didn't get an iPod until iPod Touch. I had an MP3 player. I think it was called a Zen. My friends had iPods and I was jealous. So far, pretty impressed with Leary's ability to keep his vills alive. There were militia added as well from Cloud. And it seems like he's been having a similar situation over here, where the WeSports guys are just trying to fight off with vills. But this villager could go down. It was so close. I think MBL maybe sent other villagers home as well, and is just going to send new ones forward. So yeah, I mean, okay, finally Leary loses a vill. It kind of feels like they're just shrugging off the pressure right now, so they could get to feudal age faster. And Hart from the middle has been relatively untouched. He's going to drop a stable and go for scouts. Oh, it was a Zune. I don't think it was Creative Zune. Zen, I think it was Creative Zune. Also, I didn't listen to Slipknot when I had my MP3 player. The first albums that were on my MP3 player were Chicago. I think the album's called Chicago Is So 2 Years Ago from Fall Out Boy. Whichever album had Where Is Your Boy Tonight? And then From Under the Cork Tree. So those are my first two albums downloaded. I mean, this would have been, I don't know how old I was when those albums came out. But I could only fit like 25 songs in my first MP3 player. Take This to Your Grave was that album. Oh, that album is so good, dude. That album is so good. Also, I saw Fall Out Boy a couple months ago, and I was expecting, not to enjoy them because I don't really listen to their new stuff. They did a bunch of their old songs with their new songs, and they killed it. They were just incredible. So if you're like me and you don't really listen to their new music and they're ever in town, highly suggest it. Make sure you tell them that I suggested it. Fires for Heart. A lot happening here, including Leary having to battle off the Lions. But he's going to drop the second TC with the Cumans. There should be alarm bells going off right now. Like, if you don't do damage to someone on WeSports, Leary's going to kill you with Knights. Because there's not really much you can do to stop Leary here. Leary can just grab the elephants and boom, nonstop. So you have to hope that you've done some damage probably to MBL and some damage to Heart in the meantime. There's information overload on your screens right now. So many different things happening. Spearmen, fire galleys, fishing ships. Someone wants to see the Eco KD. I can do that for you. There's the Eco KD. We'll keep that up for a bit at the bottom right. It feels fairly even at the moment. I think if you're Persians, you're pretty happy if it's 2-2 Eco KD if you're Hard, just because your vills produce so quickly as is. He's got some army presence out around the map too. But I like the Navy from Cloud and Sorakuma. That helps against the scouts. A lot of these villagers for WeSports are going to need to leave the farms. And then these fishing ships are continually working, so. Sorakuma's killed 4 Eco, lost 0. Cloud's killed 2 Eco, lost 0. Not bad. And again, I think Leary is just kind of the eventual threat you're going to have to do something about. On other maps, you could maybe pressure. Here, he's so far away and he's got so many elephants close by, you can't. So you have to hope that you get your advantages elsewhere, like right now against MBL. Now, I just picked up on the fact that MBL's Vikings, that's not a great civilization for early feudal age on a map like this where there's fires. But if he masses enough galleys and pops out, he could eventually reclaim water. I did lose a villager there, though. And has the lowest vill count in the game, MBL. MBL at 24. Hart at 26. Leary at 31. So yeah, I was going to, like, take a moment and thank some of you guys, but the start was brutal. I think I've got a moment now. Bazerman, thanks for the 25. Call me daddy. Thank you for the 6 months. Thank you, Wishbear. And Bobby Dog. Has been watching since Hidden Cup 5. Keep up the great work. Hey, thank you. Thanks for sticking around. And before someone clips that, like, 2-second moment where I said that person's username. Well, Cloud is going to sling now and give Sorakuma resources to try and put Sorakuma in the position to kill, I guess. I would be, I'd be worried, right? There's no one that's going to be able to compete with the Cuman economy. So you have to think of a way to stop him. And I think one of the best ways is to have someone else's economy get sent over to another player. We've seen Sling a lot today. We've seen it win. We've seen it lose. The previous game, obviously, it didn't work out for them. But this puts Sorakuma in Castle Age before Leary will be there. And that's an opportunity to... Maybe you don't even kill Leary. Like, maybe you leave Leary be, but you just send all those knights to MBL. Or send all those knights over to Hart. MBL's done a really good job. And so you can't win with galleys against fires at the start. But he eventually just reclaimed the water by dropping the third dock. And has gone for crazy Navy numbers. Makes it difficult to move across the middle with anything at this point. The fishing ships for Sorakuma will inevitably go down. And MBL should be pretty happy with that because he doesn't have a ton of defense at home either. So MBL's really far away from clicking up. Hart's going to click up to Castle Age soon. And then Leary 90 seconds away. Z40 will click up. Cloud will never click up here. I think... If we see Cloud in Castle Age, it would be after one of his teammates is in Imp. I think he's that deep into the Sling territory now. And honestly, he needs to get like more villagers on gold here and more villagers on food. Now, I don't think there's a way that you don't know there's a Sling right now because based on how this is played out, Sorakuma hasn't taken much damage at all. I think if, like, Z40 was up after making all those scouts, you'd maybe have some questions on if there was Sling. But MBL is going to point out the 3 stables. 3 stables could... Oh, it's actually 2, but... You know, 3 stables is still doable in a normal game, but... I think there's going to be a point where they realize, okay, Cloud is not doing anything. We just have to defend against this big push that's coming in. No one make a song out of that clip. It's all right. Nobody clipped it. We're good. So, you know, if Leary senses that this, like, that they're so far ahead, or he's so far ahead that they just need to hold, opening with camels makes a lot of sense here. Look at him. He's still trying. No way, dude. He's trying to bring in 2 elephants from a really long way away. I don't think that's going to happen, Leary. That villager should die. Huh. Loses the Vill. Elephant's running away now. He's going back for it. The knights are actually looking for him down here. Oh, God! Leary was looking at that and lost 5 vills here. I was looking at that and didn't see the 5 villagers going down. There were knights underneath his TC. Disaster. Oh, no, he lost this villager. Oh, man. And now he's running this way to drop a TC. Can you imagine if Blue swooped in with knights at the same time? Honestly, the attacks kind of worked out. The Sorakuma won't know that Leary's lost so much on the other side. But still, economically, it is way better for WeSports. And Leary's got 50 vills. He's got 50 vills. He's got camels on the field to help with any knights. Heart's got camels on the field to help with any knights. MBL still microing on water. And now, you know, that was kind of your window of killing off the other team. I think it's going to be tough from here. It's going to be really tough. Z40 is going to go Cav Archers, which with Tatars I really like. But Camel defense against that could be pretty good as well. And remember, Cloud is simply sending resources to Blue. So Blue's upgrades and army numbers should be higher than the opponents. And for the time being, they are. With 12 Knights, you've got like 9 Camels for Leary. Leary missing some upgrades. Bulgarians are kind of a tough civ to justify if you're not receiving a little bit of a boost because they don't have like enough of an eco bonus otherwise. But this to me, it's like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like this is anywhere close to working compared to the previous game. The previous game, it felt like it was working. But there's going to be army control for Leary, Hart, and MBL. They're going to have really good economic civs. The Cuman player already has the lead. The Persian player has the faster working TCs up. MBL with Vikings, free wheelbarrow, free handcart. We have the Navy taking down the docks. He's going to have some archers out in the field. He's going to have 17 of them. Cloud can't defend himself, right? Like if archers show up, Cloud's going to have some big problems. And so still waiting for that like moment for the sling to work. I would say in this tournament with the sling rules, I actually think sling is balanced pretty nicely. I actually like the fact that it's an option, whereas in other events it might just straight up be nerfed to the point where it's not. It gives you chances to try some different things. We've seen it work, but today we've mostly seen it not work. It seems like good overall play. Having 3 players in the game is better than having 2, so there's an actual risk-reward element to it here, whereas other events, they won't allow feudal sling at all. Or like way in the past, there wasn't as much of a tax to it. The tax is pretty rough here. It's like, I think 50% tax. So 50% tax in feudal before you get coinage, right? Really expensive. You're losing out on a lot of resources when you send. MBL's archers are back here now. It's been a while. I didn't know where they'd gone off to. And he doesn't really need to upgrade his ships. That's completely fine. These crossbows are just delaying the sling player. Meanwhile, like, Blue still can't really advance out across the map. Like, every time they do, they just get met by camels from Hart or camels from Leary. Couple Lancers here for Leary. And they probably won't find too much damage, but first attack we've seen from him in a while. Maybe a couple demos could be the attempt. It seems like Sorakuma's going to try pikes. I mean, right now, pikemen can work because MBL's archers are not here. The second pikemen are seen, though, and it's communicated, then I think we're going to see, some answer to the pikemen in the form of longbows. Or not longbow, sorry, longboats. Or crossbow. MBL loses his vill. MBL did this the last time I played this map. He brought a villager and just started building along the edge. I love that trait about MBL. It's like, he will do things that worked for him, even if it's something that is suboptimal. That's a lot of us. Like, we'll gain... If it works, we have confidence in it, so we're going to do it. But, like, it's such a funny little unique thing. Last time he built archer ranges in the back of his opponent's base. And it looked like he was about to try that again. Here comes Sorakuma, and Z40's got a nice little ball of Cav Archers too. So they're going to group up and try and free up some space for Cloud. And they will end up clearing this up. The MBL loses his army. And then here through the middle are some monks, are some pikes, and are some knights. from Sorakuma. The game is still close, but I still feel Sorakuma needs to kill Vils. And Hart says, not today, dude. He's quick-walled this so many times. Beautiful job from Hart. He's probably going to tell Leary to do it. He's like, Leary, add houses. Leary's focused over here. 70 Vils for Z40. He got, like, 70 as well for Sorakuma. And then Leary is imping. I mean, the only thing that I'm really seeing that could go wrong here for Leary would just have to be a massive misplay, right? Like deleting the imp TC or something. And even still, like, he's just in such a good spot. Leary has played incredible today. But the team is just so well-rounded. They're all insanely good. And they've all played together for, I don't know, like 9 years. So the coordination's there. They understand each other. We're now pretty deep into the tournament, so they have a good understanding on some of the maps and have gone through lots of challenges. Seems looking like one of the favorites right now. I think some people will say maybe the tag isn't as strong a team as some of the other teams out there. And sure, maybe that's the case, but like everyone who's made it to the main event, or even this stage, the do or die stage right before the playoffs, is a really talented team. Leary's losing a lot of Vils. He's losing Vils here. He's losing Vils down here. I think they were just... He got attacked in one too many spots, and he hasn't noticed this. This is some crazy damage. Leary's lost like 20 Vils. Ever since I said that he would have to, make a mistake himself. Well, Cloud's still in Feudal Age. Leary's still going to be an imp. But Leary's resources aren't amazing. And Leary's now down to 83 Vils. What is happening? What is happening? Finally, like, that's what they were hoping for, right? A moment to really hit somebody on this team. Now, Hart, of course, is now, like, the leader economically. And he's still going to be around and devastating. That's a whole lot of blue. The Pike switch ended up working out because Leary wasn't able to engage with his camels. Wouldn't have expected the pikemen to advance this far either. I think it took a little bit too long for MBL to get over here with some crossbows. But that's also, like, he's also really far away. Like, what is this, MBL? What is the purpose of this? I guess it's just to have some Vils over here so you could eventually build stuff to deny their trade. He lost the first Vil, and so this time he sent 3 over here. That's so funny. I know MBL's brain, and he's going to be like, well, I got free hand cards, so my Vils are faster. It feels really good. What the? He's going to build a castle up there. Well, I mean, he has Navy to protect the middle. Normally, I'd say make a defensive castle first. I still think a defensive castle first is fine. But he's going to build up a base to deny the enemy trade. And now, if this area is locked down, I don't think that Leary, Hart, and MBL really even need to push. I think what they need is they just need to trade. You don't need to advance if you deny their trade. Obviously, advancing would be really good. MBL loses his crossbows there. It's a little sloppy over the last few moments. Right? Like, Blues found some good engagements. Here are the Cav Archers now for Z40. Z40's about to have 50 Cav Archers with, 14 in queue. He probably needs a couple ranges, to be honest. But no, that's fine. He's got 4 ranges. He actually was attacking the pyramid, which I didn't know was possible. So today I learned. There's going to be a fine for that later on, Z40. But you don't have to face those fines until after the game. Cavalier for Leary. And a Krepost on the water from Sorakuma. They're not ready to give this up. This is they're fighting for their tournament lives here. But we've got 3 players in the Imperial Age against 1 player in Feudal and 2 players in Castle Age. Obviously, that is not good. And they don't even know about this castle. MBL's going to go for a sneaky ram push. I think from here, Leary could could either make more Cavalier or he could consider waiting for the Paladin upgrade. We'll probably see the markets go up in the corners soon. And MBL's Arbalest should kill off these Cav Archers as well if he can get the numbers of them. The tag pushes on. Again, they would be knocked out. They would be finished if they lose this game, as this is the losers bracket. I think they're a really good team. They've just run up against one of the best, right? So I think, can someone remind me, who did Tag beat in the previous rounds? It was, I think, a close series. I think it went to the 5th game. They beat Sal's. Okay, so they beat Vinchester's team, right? So they essentially beat Vinch, Dark. Did Dark play? It would have been Vinch, Classic Pro, maybe Antagonist. And apparently the score was 3-1. I mean, that's still a really good team. I don't know. I don't think Dark is on that team. I don't think it's like Team Russia. I think it's a mix, but yeah, it's just, I really, coming into this tournament, it would just all come down to Leary, MBL, and Heart's understanding and prep for the maps. There's no question on their ability, and they're looking really good now. We got Savar on the way for Heart. We've got Paladin on the way for Leary. And those upgrades will be in right around the time that Sorakuma and Z40 are an imp. Darkest Fox. Yeah. I forgot. Sorry. Sorry, my mind is like, there's a mini nations event coming up. And so my mind has kind of been on that too with those teams. Like, we're playing Taiwan, for example, so we'll be playing up against these players. Can you imagine being Cloud right now? You're in feudal age. And out of nowhere comes a little choo-choo. You're like, guys? Why are there siege rams in my base? Somebody send me something. And Z40's like, I don't know. How did it get there? They have no clue how it got there. That's an epic play to send someone out of the game. That is the GG moment. And, well, MBL's little sneak villager ram train finishes off the game in style. And Z40 is going to tap out here in a second and calls the GG. What a game. Honestly, 1v1s, it was actually pretty close, right? It was a great job from Z40. I think he had an amazing series when he beat Hart in the 1v1. But realistically, when you look at WeSports and Friend, it's like they're the best individual players. They're always going to win the first game. That was the feeling. Game 2 was really close. Like, this could have easily been a 2-1 moment. And then I don't know what Tag had prepared for the future maps, but I know it probably would have been solid. So, yeah, I really think this series is a little bit closer than this suggested, because the scoreline skips over the fact that Z40 beat Hart in the 1v1. And it skips over the fact of how close game number 2 was. This game I didn't feel was really that close. I think the Cumans are insanely strong here, and a lot of teams are either going to ban them or pick them first. So that's something to learn from in the future. Yeah, we'll see what WeSports and Friends do moving forward there. But no big surprises. Really fun games, though. I do want to pull up the bracket. So that's it for today. We have 2 more sets tomorrow. And let's see. I'll show you the sets, and then I'll show you kind of what the lineup looks like as we go into Thursday through Sunday. Okay, so the sets tomorrow, I think the order is... The first set we cast tomorrow is Finland's against Condor and Igalos, a.k.a. Running, Ozone, and Matador. And then the second series is Slam, Kapoch, and freaking Andy's team, a.k.a. Slapody, against Kingston, Dogal, Miguel, a.k.a. Barbitacos. So those are the 2 sets tomorrow. Winners of those sets advance to the playoffs. Losers are out. But what this means, because WeSports fell down to the losers bracket, is we're going to have Gamer Legion against WeSports. So it'll be... Tato, Doubt, Viper, Why am I forgetting a name? Tato Doubt Viper. Why am I forgetting a name? This is awkward. This is embarrassing. Who am I offending? Tato Doubt Viper. Hera. Oh my God. Sorry, Hera's still in my mind, kind of back with the old boys, you know? Hera up against WeSports, Hera's former teammates, Leary, MBL, and Hart. So that should be really fun. I think that happens Thursday or Friday. I don't know which day, but I will be casting that. Dreamers, the Argentines, who looked so good. They beat Lingwan A, so Nikov's team, if you want to look at it that way. They're going to face the winner of this series. They've looked really solid. Fox will face the winner of the other series, Slapodi and Barbatacos. Fox, I think, has looked like one of the most prepared teams in this tournament. And then My Insanity versus Lingwan B was not what people were expecting today. Spoilers, but the B team for Lingwan actually got the job done in their little civil war earlier today. So that should be great. I think My Insanity is probably the favorite, but so was Lingwan A. So that's the situation there, and that's the schedule. So I think this is probably how it goes. I think Thursday is going to be 2 quarterfinals. I think Friday is going to be 2 quarterfinals. Saturday, probably the 2 semifinals. And then Sunday is probably the final. So I think that's how it's going to be formatted. My hope is to cast all of it. So I'll be online tomorrow for the rest of the group stage. So 2 sets. And then I got a lot going on. I think it's going to be like Monday off, Tuesday, Wednesday off, because I got to prep to go to Spain because I leave on next Monday, and I have all this content to do. 4 days of closing out this event, and then, I'm taking a flight to Spain for Red Bull, which is early October, so that's getting close. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope you enjoyed the games today. The sets were really good. I know the second series was quite one-sided in terms of scoreline, but the games were awesome. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks for the love and support. I see follows come in, and I know 90% of you guys lurk and never chat. So assuming you appreciated the stream, thank you for watching and all that. All right?